I hope everybody is having a happy Wednesday. As promised, this is my video talking about my experience with teen dating violence. Just a little disclaimer, I am not a psychiatrist, a psychologist, anything like that. I'm just a young woman on a mission that wants to raise awareness to certain topics. And this particular one is about teen dating violence and my experience. So many moons ago, I was dating someone who wasn't a very nice person. It was someone who I dated someone who definitely did change the course of how my life went for years to come. But like I said, I was very young. And in my particular situation, I did not grow up in a household that was physically abusive. I never saw physical abuse growing up. I was never made aware of by any of my immediate or extended family of physical abuse happening. So again, it wasn't something that I always had to, it wasn't something that I was around growing up. So when I started dating this individual, I knew that it wasn't right, but it was hard to understand that I was in a situation that wasn't right. I know that was kind of confusing, but it's like when you know something is wrong, but you don't really understand why it's wrong. And then you mix in me being so young, it was just a lot. And in the beginning, everything started off normal, or whatever, as normal as it can be when you're at the age that I was in. But as time went on, the abuse started escalating little by little. And at first, just to give you an example, it was, oh, well, let's switch phones for the day. And yes, that sounds completely ridiculous. But at the time, the way that it was presented to me was, oh, well, if you love me and you trust me, and you have nothing to hide, then we'll just switch phones. So it was very, very, very manipulative. But I wanted it to work so bad, and I wanted this person to like me so bad that I was willing to do it. And it was crazy because looking back on it now, Miss Maria, my mom, she would have had no parts of it. But again, I was young. So yeah, the abuse started off as, controlling me and monitoring what I wore, and I wasn't allowed to talk to such and such person, and I wasn't to do this, and I wasn't able to do that. And then started the physical. And once things got physical, that's when it got even more confusing, because again, me being so young, I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't want to get in trouble, because me being a young girl. If I remember correctly, I don't really even think I was allowed to be dating. So you throw that layer in it as well. So yes, it made things very difficult because I didn't want to get in trouble. Then I found myself walking on eggshells a lot because I didn't want to make the person upset. And oftentimes this person would say things like, well, if you didn't do X, Y, and Z, then I wouldn't get so mad, then I wouldn't have to hit you and all this other kind of stuff. And it became it turned into me basically doing everything so this person wouldn't get upset with me. Because in my mind, I was like, and this is so, so, so bad. And I hope that no one ever, 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 ever allows someone to make you feel like that. But I used to tell myself, well, I could take a hit, but I just don't want him to say anything mean. And that's such a bad way to look at things. But at that time, that was my rationale. And in a situation where 2 + 2 should equal 4, 2 + 2 equaled 22. So it wasn't until I got older that I realized okay, this is what happened. And now everything that happened after that kind of made more sense. In my situation, this person was older than me. So over time, things kind of just fizzled out. And for a long time, I didn't, hear from that person. But then I want to say after things kind of like fizzled out, a few months later, and then up until about I was 24, 25, this person would continuously try to text me. So it would be him texting, calling, me blocking the number, hitting me up on social media, me blocking that. So it was something that I carried with me in silence, because I blamed myself. I was ashamed. A lot of the time people say certain things like, oh, well, if this person did this, why don't you just leave? And I can only speak for myself. It wasn't that easy, because even though this person was so mean to me, because when I started dating them, it was, I want to say like 2 or 3 years after I was originally diagnosed with depression. I wanted that love and attention so bad that I was willing to put myself, not willing to put myself in a dangerous situation, but I was scared, because it's like the way that it was painted to me, the way that the picture was painted was, no one's gonna love you the way that I love you. And that was heavy for me to carry. And my reasoning, like I said, for making this video was to shed light on it, because if you talk to like your group of friends, family members, it's a lot more common than what people think. And I promise you, you know someone who's been a survivor of teen dating violence, and there should be no shame in it. It wasn't your fault. And that's something that took me a long time and many therapy sessions to understand, because like I said, when it was happening, I blamed myself. So here we are. It's still hard. Some days are harder than others, but I finally got to a place where I forgave that person and I forgave myself. Because like I said, for a long time, I thought it was my fault. So I really hope that you take something from this video. And again, it's not anything to be ashamed of. And you're not alone. That's like the biggest thing. You're not alone. And I see you and I love you. And tomorrow I will be posting a video that I made with the lovely Janessa Rivera, who she is an advocate and one of my friends. She's a domestic violence advocate, and I was super privileged to be able to sit down with her and gain some more insight on teen dating violence and tips, warning signs, and websites and resources and things like that can help you or someone who is in this situation. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Happy Wednesday and positive vibes.